I'm a lawyer.
How much do you make?
I make $215,000.
How long have you been doing it?
2 years.
Are you interested in a law career? First things first, you'll need to earn a bachelor's degree. After that, you'll take the LSAT, which will help determine which law school you can attend next. After law school, you'll have to pass the bar exam, and then you get to determine your legal specialty. From there, you can apply to positions at law firms, the most common entry-level job being an associate attorney. There are tons of different jobs in the legal industry, though, and they don't all have those requirements, like being a corporate counsel, legal secretary, mediator, or even a judge. To learn more about what these jobs are, what they do, and most importantly, how much they pay, check out Indeed at the link in our bio.
I'm an attorney.
And how much do you make?
134.
How many years of experience do you have?
8.
And any tips or tricks to break into this?
I should say 9. Any tips? Make good connections.
I'm a lawyer.
And how much do you make?
Right now, technically 0. I'm self-employed and I just started my own practice about a week ago, so it just depends on what clients come in going forward.
And what did you do before you started your own?
So I worked at the DOJ. I was an assistant U.S. attorney for 2 years in D.C. and technically my base salary was like 73, and then you get locality pay, which was 20 something. It ended up being before taxes about 97 a year.
Okay. And on how many years of experience?
So I came into the DOJ with just like a year and a half experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And any career advice?
Just for all professions?
Sure.
Yeah, do what you love, because doing a job that you don't enjoy is one of the worst things in the world, and you're probably going to hate your life.
I am a law student.
What did you do before that?
I was a legislative director in the Texas House of Representatives.
How much did you make?
50,000.
Is that what you expected to make?
No, I hope to make a lot more after law school.
I'm a legal assistant.
How long have you been doing it?
About 2 years.
And how much do you make?
I make $55,000 a year.
Nice. Do you feel fairly compensated?
No. Cost of living in Atlanta is high, and I live in this area. It's a great area, but it's a very expensive area. Gentrification is real, and prices keep rising, so I think pay should keep rising, but that doesn't seem to be happening.
I'm a legislative assistant for Congress.
Okay. How much do you make?
I make $82,000.
Do you feel fairly paid in this area with that salary?
I do, yeah. My office is really great about making sure we're paid well.
Do you have any career advice for others who want to get into this?
Definitely intern if you're trying to work on the Hill. It's a really good way to get your foot in the door and meet people.
Openly share your salary with a colleague or a stranger on the street?
Oh my goodness, yes. I think it's important that you do, so you can let your people know in the office.
So what do you do?
I actually work for the city of New York. I'm a legislative attorney, intergovernmental affairs.
Do you like what you do?
I love what I do. We're in a bit of chaotic times right now, but it's like for the people of New York City, so.
How much do you make?
Oh my goodness, how much do I make right now? I just got a new job, so thank you, pay transparency. I think I'm making $115,000. Thank you. But I work for the city, so you can see everyone's pay scale online. I think if you go to like a website called like See-Through.
I am a self-employed attorney. I practice in the field of employment law. I mostly represent plaintiffs.
How much do you make?
Last year, I made about $100,000.
How long have you been doing it?
A few minutes. This is my 26th year as an attorney.
How'd you get into it?
I beat a traffic ticket when I was 16. Caught the cop in a lie, made the judge throw a pen down in anger and frustration at the police officer, and that's when I knew, yeah, I could probably do this for a living.
Do you like what you do?
Most of the time, yes.
What is your number one piece of advice for others who might want to get involved in law?
If you are in law school, take every class where you are graded in doing actual legal writing and intern somewhere that is going to help you do your writing.
I'm an attorney.
You're self-employed?
Yes, I am. I do criminal defense appointments in Kansas.
How much do you make on average?
That makes $120 an hour in Kansas, paid by the state for the Indigent Defense Fund.
How did you get into this? Like, what brought you to law?
Well, I was in the Air Force, got out of the Air Force, teaching special education. You really can't make a living in teaching, but I had the GI Bill, so I went to law school.
How long have you been self-employed?
Probably about the last 7 months or so.
How's it going?
I think it's going really well. I think it really is.
Any career advice you would share with maybe a younger generation just graduating into the workforce?
I think the most important thing is find what you're passionate about and follow your dream.
I'm an intern with the Indiana State Senate.
I'm a legislative intern at the Indiana State Senate.
I'm a Senate intern with the Indiana General Assembly.
I'm an intern for 2 senators at the Indiana State House.
How much do you make doing that?
$400 a week before taxes. I make the same price, like $400 before tax.
$400 a week.
Like $10 an hour.
Do you feel fairly compensated?
Not even close. We just do a whole lot of work for no money.
It can be difficult to live on that in Indy as a student.
What do you feel like you should be compensated for your work?
I mean, even $5 more an hour, because it's roughly $10 an hour, would really be helpful.
What are some of the pros and cons of your role?
Con, we got to stay late without getting paid. A pro, we get free food.
Well, I want to go into politics in the future, and eventually I do want to go to law school. So right now I think I'm studying for my LSAT after this session ends, so it pays off.
So it's a brilliant experience. I get to work with senators every day and make connections. The cons, the long hours.
What pieces of advice would you share with others interested in doing what you do? Like what helped you get the role? Any words of advice?
Just really be proactive with finding those experiences. Don't be worried about failure.
Write a good cover letter. That's it. You have a good interview. Just practice.
Do not be afraid of networking, because I used to be very shy, but then I just met so many incredible people, and the biggest advice I've been told is the only difference between you and them is a title. I'm interested in education, so I work with a couple senators that focus on education.
How do you feel about that with teachers and compensation?
I think that teachers need to be paid more and respected more and treated as the professionals that they are.
I just took the bar exam, so right now I am working as like a quasi-attorney. I'm doing like interny kind of stuff, but I work for like a really boutique like military and veterans law firm right now.
Fingers crossed on the bar, fingers crossed. How much do you make in your current role?
Right now I make about $35 an hour, and I'm just kind of working on like a case-by-case basis. I'm hoping to go up from there. Especially once I pass the bar, I'm going to negotiate for more.
Do you know what the earning potential is once you pass the bar?
I think I'd be hoping to ask for like definitely starting like 100K.
Any advice, career advice for students who might be interested in your role, or just what have you learned in general that you would share?
Don't be afraid to ask like what you feel you're worth, because I think that was what I was scared of. I was like, oh, I don't want to ask for too much because I don't want them to be like, oh, you don't deserve that much. But especially like being confident and being like, no, I know this is what I deserve. I think that's the best way to do it.
I'm an attorney.
How did you get into it?
I went to law school.
Have you always been interested in law?
My mother says I came out of the womb arguing, and it sort of just fit.
So how long have you been an attorney?
23 years.
Do you like it? What are the best and worst parts?
I really like it. I think the best part of it is it plays naturally to my skills. I am a litigator, and so I get to go spend time in the courtroom. I like the fact that I get to, it's almost like it's a game. It's an intellectual game. It's a challenge. It allows me to connect with people, and it allows me to use the things that I'm really good at in a practical way.
What's your earning potential like? Like, what do you make annually, or if you can share a range, you're more comfortable, that works too.
I think the average starting salary for someone coming out of law school can range from about $90,000 to $180,000. Most people come out of law school with a significant amount of debt, so the practical recovery or return on that isn't as high until you've been doing it for about 30 years, and then the student loans hopefully are paid off, and you actually get to keep that money.
What are some of the skills you need in this career, maybe hard and soft skills?
From a practical standpoint, the hard skills are really good time management. The ability to keep track of multiple and competing priorities are really important. I would also say people skills are great. Being able to connect with people, public speaking, depending on what you want to do. The thing about a law degree is that it's very varied. So you can do everything from going into business to being in-house counsel to showing up every day and being in a courtroom. And that is what's great and really flexible about it. And so when people think about being a lawyer, a lot of people just imagine someone sitting in a courtroom, and there's so much more that you can do with it.
What career advice would you share with any students that might want to do what you do, or what have you learned in general that you would share?
I'd say that the biggest thing for me is anytime you think about going to graduate school, including law school, I chose to expose myself to that discipline by taking a year off in between undergrad and law school and working in a law firm to make sure it was something that I really wanted to do and to learn whether or not it was a good fit for me. And so my practical advice for people would be actually go connect with people in the thing that you're interested in doing and expose yourself to those opportunities and find out if it's something worthwhile, because there's nothing worse than starting down a significant career path that requires a lot of investment and time, not only financially, but emotionally, intellectually, in terms of your time, and then you get to the end and realizing, oh, that's not a good fit for me. So you definitely don't want to do that when you're talking about graduate school kind of practices and opportunities.